Let's discuss it with retired four-star General, Fox News senior strategic analyst, General Jack Keane. Great to have you with us always, General.
Yeah, good to be here, Shannon.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Today, the Ukrainian president said this. He's quoted as saying, "I don't want anyone to think this is fun and games. Ukraine is under threat of full-scale war with Russia." This is not to be taken lightly.
Well, he's facing an election coming up in 2019, and it's a tough election, and he may, in fact, lose it. I'm not suggesting that he's overstating this situation, but I don't think there's the likelihood of a war between Russia and Ukraine, because Russia does not want that. Their economy is struggling. Putin's favorability ratings are at the lowest since this war began 5 years ago. He's got huge problems at home, and the people are getting tired of the troop deployments and the drip, drip, drip of casualties that are happening. So the war is in a different framework in Russia now than what it was when they seized Crimea, and his ratings went sky high.
The Wall Street Journal editorial board wrote this: Mr. Trump criticized Barack Obama for tolerating Mr. Putin's seizure of Crimea, but now the Russian is testing Mr. Trump. The Americans should make clear during the G20 summit this week that such aggression will be met with more arms sales to Ukraine and tougher sanctions on Russia. The Kremlin strongmen will be watching for signs of weakness.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I don't even think we should meet with Putin based on this incident. And that's a way of putting the marker down and tell them, we're not going to meet unless you release the sailors and release the ships back to Ukraine. It's not your property. Secondly, totally agree on sanctions. I think we should do that in concert with the Europeans, and likely we will. I would make an announcement very quickly, because the White House has been considering it for weeks, and that is more lethal aid to the Ukrainians. We've given them an anti-tank weapon called the Javelin, and we've got some other toys, so to speak, to pass on to them. And I would also think about going into the Black Sea with France and probably the UK and possibly Germany, not a lot of ships, but a few ships, every once in a while, to show the Russians that we're not going to be pushed around here, and also to prop up the Ukrainians' political and moral will.
Also, we have this terrible news out of Afghanistan that a roadside bomb killed 3 of our U.S. service members, several others injured, we think at least 3. Senator Elizabeth Warren, a Democrat, tweeting this. She says 3 U.S. service members were killed in Afghanistan today. As we grieve with their families, we must ask, how many more must die for us to realize that no amount of U.S. military power will fix Afghanistan? We've been at war for 17 years. It's time to bring our troops home. The president, you know, throughout his campaigning and even as president, has expressed a lot of worry and hesitation about us being in Afghanistan. So what now?
Well, it is true. I mean, it's very frustrating, 17 years. I won't go through the whole history of it, but we squandered so many opportunities to turn this around. During the Bush administration, we went to war in Iraq, and Afghanistan became a secondary effort. Obama never put the full effort in the generals had recommended, and then he pulled all the troops out. All that said, the Trump team, I think what they're trying to do, without stating it, what they're doing is they've upped the ante a little bit in terms of the number of troops there to help train the Afghan security forces. But what they principally said is, they say, we're going to stay unconditionally. That never existed during the Obama administration. And they're saying that because they want the Taliban to recognize there's resolve here, and they want to force the Taliban to come to the table and discuss a political solution. That is really their strategy. Now, whether that will work or not remains to be seen. The Taliban has tremendous patience. It's been 17 years since they ran the country, and I think they're willing to sort of wait us out here.
Yeah. All right. We'll see. General, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's good talking to you, Shannon.